Sorry guys, I've been delayed catching up with you right now with my briefing. Still thick on the clock on the schedule of this Thursday, August 24th. Getting back, of course, to the powder kegs that could be leading to World War III, starting with the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, but also other issues like the one of the People's Republic of China vis-à-vis Chinese Taipei. We will talk about other issues in the future, such as monitoring the phase of COVID 19 right now between 2023 and 2026 with the steering committee, as well as a global control of the modern bacteriological war in terms of development. Issues like climate change and food crisis will be also within the topics to discuss during the 2023-2024 cycle. I'll get back here also to speak about other issues of counterterrorism and global armed conflicts, the possibility of getting civil wars throughout the world, and monitoring the situations of socio-economic chaos that were created in the world after the implosion of the COVID crisis in March 2020. This could lead me back to speak about the economic situation of the People's Republic of China and how it has been moving and impacted by the situation of the COVID 19. Still stressing on the importance of having talks in the region between the People's Republic of China, Japan, the Republic of Korea, and the Democratic People's Republic of Korea to maintain the status quo in the region. Also catching up with the royal activities in the Kingdom of Morocco, and getting back here to deliberate many things regarding counterterrorism strategy. So, if I want to speak about the Russian-Ukrainian conflict and the development, the main thing, of course, that we are following right now are the NPPs. The impacts of the dam's destruction in this context of action. It's very interdependent. The second topic is related to the Black Sea, the main area that could lead probably to a powder keg potentially in this context of action following the breach of the grain initiative. Listening also to outside voices regarding this situation right now and messages that goes through regarding this conflict. If I wanna deliberate furthermore for the situation, I don't wanna get back to the four scenarios that I have been invoking at the beginning of the year, but I wanna go back to the fact that 2024 is a very important year for this situation. I'm not an election specialist actually, like I said before, but there are three main elections that are very determinant to the development of things. The one of the Russian Federation, the one of Ukraine, and the one of the United States, all presidential. And very important to follow up with this, especially within the challenges that have been invoking, avoiding World War III, avoiding more global armed conflicts or non-armed as well, and avoiding civil wars and working to lower the socio-economic chaos, long story short. Regarding the topics that I want to discuss for the 2024 election in Russia, very important to get back here with the President Putin and my counterterrorism expertise to speak about the extremism. Those are the main things that I want to work on with Russia 2024 and onward. I mean, when we speak about the issue that one of the opposing parties to President Putin, Alexei Navalny, was talking about when he was describing the Muslims, the way he was describing them several times throughout the years. But following up also with the counterterrorism groups and the development, besides the perception and what Navalny has been speaking about, we're speaking here with President Putin regarding the governance and how to face the situation of the Russian Hezbollah, for example. I've been talking to many Russians as well that are immigrants and there are from many Islamic republics of the Russian Federation, such as Chechnya and Dagestan, regarding how to support the Russians inside of some parts of Russia. It's not just about the election, like I said, in this context of action, but about the governance approach that the Kremlin and the Duma have to work with. And we've been speaking about this really clearly ever since November 2016. So following up also for the perspective for the new world that President Putin have been speaking about, and also consultation outside of Russia with the Bilderberg Group and China's Silk Road once again of President Xi Jinping. From a perspective of other matters in Russia domestically, I would speak about the future of Wagner and the operations that could be dealt with at the level of the Belarus, as well as Latin America and Africa, in example when combating Islamic terrorism. Among the other things that I will get back also to speak about is the situation of neo-Nazism, since we've been bringing this as the beginning, as one of the main goals of the governance of Russia post-election 2024 plus. So, and focusing on this matter as well, because like I said, it's a matter of domestic security from St. Petersburg to Vladivostok. From the internal perspective in Ukraine, getting back here to support the fact that President Zelensky has been fighting for this matter, and the fact that we cannot accept this preposterous, if I may, proposition to have Ukraine split, like Western Ukraine being like West Germany and the Donbass and Crimea like East Germany for 25 years. This is very cowardly proposed by some parties, and I would stress about the fact that you have to get back onto this. Let me be more fair with you in this context of action, and just to apply the situation here that the Ukraine territorial integrity must be respected. I will get back to speak about the elections here as well, as I have invoked earlier, and you know that according to the Ukrainian constitution, the election that was supposed to take place on March the 23rd, 2024 basically could be cancelled because the Ukrainian government introduced martial law, and Ukrainian law does not permit presidential elections during periods of martial law. So if martial law is still in place, the elections may be postponed and rescheduled. But like I said, in the matter of the internal elections for Russia and Ukraine, the most important thing now is to work further to get out of this current status quo that is conflicting between both countries. Other things that are internal to Ukraine matters could lead us to speak about Azov, as I have been speaking about Wagner earlier, and in the international studies of war, we have noticed that there is a development not just of the war of drones, but also the war of militias right now, not just about national army. We've seen it with the example of Wagner, and if I may, there is also an example here in Ukraine with Azov as a militia. The question here is still, while I'm deliberating with the parties concerned, is where is neo-Nazism in this context of action? Other internal affairs, as I have been invoking in the past, are basically for Ukraine and Ukraine only, like the situation between Zelensky and Aristov, and the one of Zelensky with Klitschko. So for the United States, the elections will play a role that is very important. A rematch Donald Trump, Joe Biden, that's basically not my concern because I work with the perspective of governance. How this will be impacted vis-a-vis Ukraine and vis-a-vis Russia is part of the debate as well, but not just of the presidential election, but the ones of the Senate and Congress next year. It's not about 2024 nor 2028, like I said in 2020 with the steering committee. We've been already speaking about the position of putting little by little direct democracy and getting back here with Elon Musk to specify regarding this, because we are just with not only what I described, but it's easy, even a blind person can see it right now. The difference between two words and two approaches has never been bigger in history, and you can feel it. I mean, that we have get to the point that this second Cold War will be probably more significant than the first one. So to get back to the specific situation of the United States, not about the federal races of next year, nor about the state races. The atmosphere of 2024 will definitely not be as much different as 2020, which means we are still dealing with the same word, which is chaos, and that's the thing that we have to understand. Many things will overshadow the result, but like I said, we have to keep going from a domestic perspective as well here on building the concept of direct democracy throughout the 2020s.